Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we welcome on the Essex County Community Organization and two of their representatives. Thank you so much for coming on today. Would you mind introducing yourselves to our audience?
Sure. My name is Colette Lima. I'm a community organizer at ECCO.
Thank you for having us. Good evening. My name is Minister Brenda Womack from Zion Baptist Church, and I am one of the co-chairs for ECCO, the Essex County Community Organization.
Fantastic. And ECCO, you're here in Lynn and in many other communities just around the Commonwealth. So first of all, Colette, would you mind just giving a brief overview of ECCO's mission for maybe people who aren't as familiar?
Yeah. So ECCO is an interfaith organization, meaning that we bring people together of different faiths, including people that aren't of a traditional faith tradition. And we come together on a shared value of social justice, and we work together to create change in our communities. We have an organizing model that we try to work with people within the community to support and develop their leadership. And right now we are campaigning on housing and immigration.
Yes, that's your big thing. And then Brenda, as a co-chair, what's involved in your role?
My role, what's involved in my role is working alongside of Colette, getting people more involved, doing one-on-ones, talking to folks, finding out what it is that they are missing, what it is that they want, what it is that they need, helping them to realize that they have a voice, they have a right to speak up for themselves, learning how to encouraging them to step forward, and to help bring about the changes that's needed.
I know I've been to a few of your events before, and it's very much like community engagement, encouraging people. Yeah, you're one person, but you do have a voice, and it matters, and it's important. That really seems to be the basis of your events. And I know you're here to talk about one specifically that's happening in a couple of weeks on July 23rd. And you said it's a follow-up from an event you had last year in 2024. So what is involved in this?
Yeah, so last year we brought representatives together in a room to ask them questions around the Affordable Homes Act. And this meeting is going to be following up from that, and we're going to be asking folks about the current rent stabilization bill. Okay. So right now there is a ban on rent control in Massachusetts, and as anyone that's a renter knows, rent is extremely high here. And so this bill would allow cities and towns to really have a choice whether or not they want to enact rent stabilization measures. And so at this event, we are trying to have a room full of people to ask our legislators whether or not they will support this bill.
Makes sense. And even I saw that you mentioned on yours, you were saying what's happening now with immigration is tying into the rent ban. They're both playing off of each other, but not in a positive manner. They're both detriments to each other. We
all know that housing is the root of everything. It is the basis of everything. Everything that folks are going through, housing is the #1 main issue. If we don't have stable housing, you don't have a happy home. Right. If you don't have stable housing, you don't have people that are able to go out to work. The children are not even being able to learn as they should because they're worried about where am I going to lay my head. Yeah. We left home this morning with the place to stay, but when I get back, I may get back to a place where everything is all packed up, and now we got to go and find someplace else to go. Mm-hmm. Housing is the stable piece that it's needed.
And you were mentioning too, there's a bill surrounding, the ban on rent control. So what this bill would reverse that, get rid of it?
Yes, so it would lift the current ban on rent control in Massachusetts, and it would allow cities and towns to enact rent stabilization measures if they choose to.
And like you were saying, stable housing, if you don't have that.
If you don't have that, what else do you have? You don't have anything.
Right.
And as we know, the homeless population is way out of control right now. Some by choice, some, because they can't help it. But unless we can reenact the rent stabilization, this bill, we're going to have a lot more. And then what are we doing to help prevent that, To
help all those people. Right?
All those people.
I'm lucky to be housing secure where I still live at home with my folks, but I couldn't move out with the way rent is unless I had like
Right.
4 friends and we squeeze into a studio apartment.
Right.
It's just not going to happen with the way rent is.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, we came to determine that we wanted this to be our campaign after about a year of really listening in the community and hearing what issues were impacting people the most. And as Minister Brenda had mentioned, housing really is at the core of a lot of these different issues. When it comes to education, when it comes to healthcare,
Right.
stable housing really is essential in order for people to be able to improve their own conditions. And with rent stabilization, it's something that would be universally used, meaning that people would be able to receive the benefits of that if it were to be enacted in a town like Lynn.
Right. Yes.
And you also just had an event last month in June as well where people gathered. It was Lynn, Beverly, Salem, and I think there were a few other places as well, people all coming together to speak to. There were a couple of representatives, a few state legislators there to speak their mind and to see what they could maybe help them with at the law level, that is, the state level.
Yeah, at that event, we had people speak about their own experiences with housing, and then there was an opportunity to ask legislators whether or not they would support the rent stabilization bill, as well as the real estate transfer fee. And both legislators that were present did say that they were in support of the rent stabilization bill.
Oh, and you just mentioned the rent stabilization, but also, what was the second piece you just mentioned?
The real estate transfer fee.
Thank you. What would you be able to explain that? Because I personally didn't know what that was, so would you be able to explain that to our audience?
Sure. So the real estate transfer fee is a fee that would be applied to $1 million homes that would then go into a bucket for affordable housing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. Another piece of it. Cool. And so for this forum that's coming up, when you said this, in ideal world, ideal situation, what would you like to get out of this forum? Like, what would be an ideal situation?
An ideal situation is that we would like for our representatives, our state reps, to say, yes, we're behind you, we're for this,
Yes.
you know, because not only it helps the city, it also helps them, because those that they are helping and those that they're saying yes to is the one that have voted for them.
Right.
All right? And it's only going to help the city to become better. So.
It would only help, maybe less people would move out, more people would be able to afford here, like you said, reduce the homeless population, help those people maybe get back into a stable housing situation.
Right.
There's a lot of really positive aspects to
A
it.
lot of positive aspect to this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think hearing our legislators say yes to this would be incredible. I believe that there's a lot of different ways that we need to address the housing crisis in Massachusetts. It's
Yes.
a huge problem. And rent stabilization is just one of the solutions to that. But I think in cities like Lynn, it would have a massive impact.
Yeah.
Mostly because people are getting displaced because of how expensive rent is. And so a bill like this would allow people to stay in the community. And I think by legislators saying yes to this, it would show the community that they have their back.
That's right.
Show that they have some support, make them
Some
feel
support.
Yes.
less powerless in that
Right.
sense.
Yes.
Right.
And I can tell you're both so passionate about it. So I am curious, how long have you both been doing this work, been working for ECCO, helping with them?
Well, I retired 8 years ago.
Nice.
And I think shortly after I retired, I got more involved with ECCO because the work that I was doing, I saw a lot of folks being affected by some of the things that we are working on.
Right.
And of some of the folks that I've seen was my own relatives.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
and when it hits home, it really hurts. And then you can see beyond just home, you could really see the impact that it has on others. And when families are being broken apart because of things that's beyond their control, but they're doing their best to make ends meet, and their best is not enough according to what society is saying, it keeps people beat down, and we need to change that.
Yeah.
That needs to stop. You know, so
Yeah.
I would say I've been doing this maybe 7 years now.
You can definitely tell with how passionate you are about it, and it comes across crystal clear.
Well, I'm very passionate about people in general. I think, and I said this to Colette when we met earlier, I said, you know, I think in what's going on, a lot of us have forgotten about humanity.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I
We've
agree.
forgotten about humanity, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. I see you as you see me as me. You know, it's not where we came from, not what we have, not what you have, not what I have. It's us.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that it's not just affecting the low income or the disenfranchised. It's hitting everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone. What's going on, everyone is going to suffer at some point behind this. And if we can't get a handle on it now, we're going to have a disaster.
And then Colette, how you said you were a couple years in?
Yeah, so I've been working at ECCO for about 2 years now. Before that, I was working mostly in childcare and education. And I think like many people that go into that sphere of work, I went into it because I wanted to work with the leaders of the future and to create a better world through working with young people. And I still think that work's really important. I still love doing work with young people. And I remember there was this one time where I was talking with some of the students I was working with, where we were talking about just a variety of different issues that were happening in the community. And so one of the things that I told them is, and that's why I'm in education, because I want you to be able to go out and make the world a better place. And I had one student look at me and like point blank was like, so, but what are you doing now? And and I was like, wow,
It
really sat with me. Yeah, it really just went for it. And I was like, you know, that is an incredibly important point. What are we doing now? And I think that I realized that in order to support the young people that I'm working with in the current moment, we have to change things. And I can't do that alone. That comes through the power of people. And so that inspired me to go into organizing.
So you can tell from both of you the careers that you've been in that really fuels into the power of people and the power of the community. And I do have to wrap up now, but I just want to thank you again so much for coming on to share that passion, to share that work. Like you said, we can't do it alone, so I'm so happy of all the great work that ECCO's been doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for having us. You know, this was a great opportunity to be able to come and talk about this and let others know that we're here for them and they're not in it by themselves. We're here to do whatever we can.
Exactly. And I can't say that better myself. So once again, this has been the Lynn Lowdown. Check out their event in a couple of weeks. I'm Dani Vittori, and we'll see you with more guests next time.